Hello,
Hi.
good evening, and welcome to Mackmyra Life episode 4. I'm Mickey, and this is my good friend Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl. Call us the Mac on Instagram. Follow me, give me likes, all that lot.
Fantastic. A bit of personal plug in there for Carl. But, you know, we're quite active on the social media, guys, so look us up, ask us questions if you want. Knock yourselves out, it's what we're here for at the end of the day. So, this week we actually go on a little road trip with Carl. He takes us to one of Nottingham's hotspots, which will be quite good. And also, we've got a couple of geek corners like we do. We'll have a bit of chat and stuff like that. So, guys, ask questions so we can answer them for you. Not a problem. If you can't, one of our backstage staff will hopefully point us in the right direction or answer the question for you if we can't answer you live on air, guys, okay? So, Carl, you've been up to much this past couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, besides doing the filming for this little segment, I've been building a few things, enjoying a few drinks, you know, living the life, living the Mackmyra life, as it were. How about yourself, mate?
Nice. No, just getting around some customers up here in Glasgow. So any Scottish-based people want to know a bit more about Mackmyra, then please give me a shout, guys, okay? You'll find us all on the social medias and stuff. So I noticed you got a wee libation on the go there, Carl. What have you got to say?
Joe, I've got it straight, nice and simple. Lab Distillery Organic Gin and a Creator Tonic. So I've said probably many times on the stream before, I'm not a massive gin fan, and I still kind of hold true to that, but I think there's certain gins that I just don't get on with. I tend to find that a lot of gins are quite dry, and that drying sensation I don't really get on with. But I think with the Creator Tonic, you've got this lovely fruitiness. It sounds like a sales plug. I'm not genuinely not trying to make it a sales plug. Do you know what I mean? It is. I really genuinely enjoy it. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't talk about it if I didn't actually like it. So just simple. Distillery Organic Gin and Tonic. What about yourself, mate? What you rocking?
Yeah, I've not gone too complicated myself, so I've gone for the Creator Gin. This wasn't rehearsed, guys, either. We just went and chosen a drink. So I've gone for the Creator Gin with a Creator Tonic and a couple of slices of orange in there. Nice, light, really fruitful and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Really very enjoyable. I really quite do enjoy it. So it's good. Do you know what I mean?
Nice. It's good. We're fancy with your orange slice as well. Have you got Doggo just coming on the stream as well? Is that your Doggo? Yeah.
Brilliant. So, just to let you guys know, next week me and Carl will be hosting a tasting session on the 10th at 7 o'clock, and that will be going through our core range. So that's the Mac, the Brooks, the Svensk Jech, and the Svensk Gruk. But also, because of our new release that we'll talk about a little bit later on, the Jachlicker, we're going to include that. And so that'll be on the tasting next Wednesday at 7. If you would order your packs for that, guys, in plenty of time, you'll get the core, the 4 cores, a sample of Jachlicker, and a tasting glass as well. All you have to do is go onto mackmyra.co.uk and enter the code shipping for free to get complimentary shipping, guys. Okay. So so mackmyra.co.uk and select the tasting pack, and you'll get a Jachlicker and a free tasting glass for £23.90. And if you enter the code shipping for free, we'll provide complimentary delivery on that one, guys.
Yeah, 5 whiskey. It's not a bad crack, is it, for the price? Plus
it's pretty good.
Glass as well. It's a great. Like I say, if anyone's watching for the first time or maybe seen a couple of streams before and not necessarily tried any Mackmyra stuff before, it's a really great way to try what we're all about. It's got all different facets of our range, and then you've got our latest new season on as well. So you'll be one of the first people to try that as well. So no reason not to, really. Treat yourself.
Yeah, so if you're online and you've tried it already, well done. And drop us a few comments. Let us know what you think, because we'll be talking about it a little bit later on. So it'd be a bit rude not to start off with a bit of a geek corner. You know, I like a wee geek corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I quite enjoy
that.
You do. And I thought for this geek corner we would talk about the person that's behind everything you see behind me here, basically, and the person that's responsible for those fantastic flavours that we taste in our whiskies. So, and that is Andrea D'Orazio, our Chief Nosing Officer or our Master Blender. There she is. After starting with Mackmyra in 2002 on the external sensory panel, developing the recipes for Mackmyra, Angela became the Master Blender in the spring of 2004. So she was quickly elevated to the position of Chief Nose Officer, Angela is responsible for the blends and recipes produced within the company, the quality of the whiskey, the sensory analysis, and maintaining an overview of the maturing stock of whiskey. So yeah, there's quite a lot resting on that shoulders, really. Do you know what I mean? But luckily for us, Angela's got a bit of experience there. So Angela's been in the whiskey industry for more than 20 years. I know she doesn't look it. So having first worked back in the day with Glenmorangie, before running a whiskey bar in Stockholm, and later starting the Swedish branch of the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, or the SMWS. So, you know, there's some massive achievements again there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's before she even started in Mackmyra. So perhaps best known in Sweden within whiskey circles, Angela has enjoyed a high-profile international career for a number of years, serving as a judge and head judge, among other positions, at highly renowned contests such as the Spirits Challenge, the Superior Taste Award, and probably the best well-known is the International Wine and Spirits Competition, or the IWSC. You see that banded around a few places for their awards, etc. So working alongside the likes of the infamous Jim Murray, of basically Islay fame and just general whiskey fame, really.
Yeah.
So she was also responsible for the whiskey contests held at the Stockholm Beer and Whiskey Festival from 1996 through to 2011. So, I mean, if that's not enough for you, Carl, I mean, I'm blown away already.
Well, as a geek corner.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, but
so if that's not enough, one last little bit, just to put a little bit of last icing on the cake. On the 28th of March in 2019, so March last year, Angela was inducted into the Whisky Magazine Hall of Fame. This is one of the most prestigious distinctions within the whisky industry. You know, it recognises those who have had a significant and lasting impact on the whisky industry. So, guys, you're drinking Mackmyra, and you're really enjoying it. That's the reason that Angela got into the Whisky Magazine Hall of Fame. And we're proud enough to call her our chief nosing officer, or our master blender, for want of a better word. So, Angela, thank you for this lovely stuff that you do. Yes, so right to say, Angela is a legend indeed, So, Carl, I think that brings us up to our first out and about segment with your good self.
Mate. I had the pleasure of visiting Charles Reid's Rhubarbar yesterday. He runs an event company and a bar called Gin Secco as well. So we've got loads of images of their different events, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the videos as well. Garden parties, all the rest of that stuff. And I've just realised, actually talking to you right now, the segue in the video is actually thanking you, not me. So I've kind of messed that one up a little bit, but we'll smooth over it. It's fine. Okay. I can be Mickey. I can be Mickey for right now. Yeah, that's fine, mate. It's good being me sometimes, brother. Do you know what I mean? You take it away, but you take it away and lead it in, so it makes sense.
We're going to go over now to one of our first segments of today, and that's with Carl and speaking to Charlie in Nottingham. So, Carl, over to yourself and Charlie.
Cheers, Mickey. We're at Gin Secco Bar in Nottingham.
We are indeed, yeah.
With Charles.
Hi, guys.
Good to see you. So, how has life been, I guess, post-COVID, post-corona, for you?
It's. I think it's been a learning curve for me, the hospitality industry, especially the last month or so with the Eat Out, Help Out. I think it's been beneficial for a lot of hospitality people working, managing to get back into it, if you will, and earn some good money, especially with tips and stuff like that. I think that's kind of shown the public how hard we actually do work, and that's kind of helped us out in sense of service and things like that. And regarding like Rhubarbar, we've developed packages that, because we're an event space, we've managed to utilize the restrictions on people in parties. So we do cocktail masterclasses, we do garden parties for 10 to 20 people, and we've been fully booked. Luckily, I know of some people are unfortunate in some of their businesses that they've not had as much traction, but we've done really well, to be honest with you. It's been a lot of hard work for everybody in the industry, in any sort of customer servicing service base, but
So I was going to say, we're just going to lead sort of into the point. So tell us about, we're in Gin Secco today, which is obviously sort of like a lovely bar in the middle of Nottingham, and we are open fully as normal for the public? If you want to come down, you find
Yeah.
yourselves in
Come
town?
down, yeah. We open from Wednesday to Sunday. We've always been table service led, so we've got a massive wide range of spirits. Obviously, gin, which changes all the time, and with the ordering app, we kind of added quite a few different cocktails. So even our loyal fans, all their cocktails will be still on there. But yeah, we open as normal. We're busy as ever, and yeah, please pop by.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a call to action for everyone.
So it sounds like he's doing quite well then. So how's he generally coping with it all, Carl?
To be honest with you, it's getting on all right. Like, it's quite surprising as well to kind of hear that, you know, although the situation that we all find ourselves in has been pretty terrible, there are some shreds of light. There are some positives to kind of take from it. It's helped everyone kind of refocus and readjust. And you know, it's what as well. Well, the sort of bar side is kind of just finding its feet. Finding its way of things. There's also the event side of things as well. That's been, you know, it's been struggling as well. It's been trying to find its way back. And in the second part of this clip, he's going to talk to us a little bit about Rhubarbar, about the gin society, the Spirit Society, and how that's sort of kind of adapting as well. Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit about Rhubarbar,
Yes.
being the events company side of things. So
Yeah.
I guess for those who don't know about Rhubarbar, tell us a bit more, I guess, about what it is in a nutshell. And
Yeah, the simplest way is we're an event specialist company based in Nottingham, and we deliver the bar atmosphere, as you will, to your house, to a wedding, to a private space. We've taken parties to farms, people's gardens, people's living rooms and kitchens, and then recently we've adapted the brand to go into the Spirit Society, working with the lovely Mackmyra, working with lovely brands. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming, and where we focus on the product that consumers not really has much access to, that they kind of may be thinking that they don't have access to, but we're going to bring that to them. So working with masterclasses, with our online shop. So there's loads of cool stuff coming, and we're always developing, like most brands, especially like Mackmyra, who's just released another amazing whiskey for their consumers to try. So that's a bit about us. Yeah.
Do you like my double barrel finger point?
I like it, man. I like it. No,
I got cheeky with the editing on that one as well.
Right, so he's doing really well, and he's diversifying because of these times. So that's really good for him.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the, like I say, a lot of it was the kind of adaptation side of things. You know, it's all a learning curve to kind of figure out. Okay, we've got this new word. How we kind of figure out a way to get back into it, and you know how to adapt. So there's as much as was the first stage of right. Okay, so we're in the situation. How we're going to adapt and fit. And now the next step is kind of looking into. So what does a new world look like? You know, what does it look like going forward, moving into the
what's going to be the new normal?
Yeah, exactly, the new normal. Yeah, and he talks a little bit about this in this next clip that we're going to show for you now.
Awesome, let's go for it.
Like from the Gin Secco point of view, how we've dealt with COVID in the sense of serving, we've utilised the track and trace app. So we have an app, and we obviously track and trace all our customers. And because our venue is as beautiful as it is, it's all table service based anyway. So we are quite lucky in the sense that we're always going to be customer facing and talking about unique products. So in the sense of expanding on that is probably utilize more the app itself as an ordering facilitating device, and then add more onto that, change the menu a bit more. We can have a head start into our winter menu design because we can do that quite easily on the app. In sense of like with Rhubarbar, similar things really. We're broadening our horizons in sense of adapting to the market by we just invested into a horse box, so we're going to design that. That's going to be a bespoke package, catering for a specific event. So if we have like a whiskey festival, it'll be all whiskey themed, and that can be brought outside in someone's house, gone straight into a whiskey right in the middle of a festival. So on both markets, we're adapting really well, to be honest with you. It's not been too hard or much of a struggle because we're a ready table service led venue, so we've been quite lucky.
Okay. In some ways a positive?
Some ways are positive.
Spin on that?
Yeah, some ways are positive. So in sense of like rotating a shift on a busy weekend, it's the difficulty has always been how busy we're going to be. But because of it, we're bookings led, we have a 80% idea of how the shift is going to be, and therefore the staff rota is quite easy to go, okay, that's within that level of capacity, that amount of staff, that level of capacity, that amount of staff. And then, but unfortunately, the only negative would be people not turning up. And that's going to happen because people are going to want to book everywhere they go. They're not going to really want to go straight to you. They'll book somewhere else or they'll be late. But other than that, we've not really had any issues, to be honest with you. We've been quite lucky.
That's good. So it's kind of silver lining to obviously what is quite a terrible situation to find itself in.
Of course. It's a really terrible situation for the world to find itself in, but we've adapted in sense of how we serve our customers to make sure everyone's safe, everyone's clean, we've got perspex everywhere, hand sanitizer stations, every single table. But silver lining, unfortunately,
So
that sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm loving the sound of that horse box thing. I've seen a few other people do it in that as well up and down the country, and I think they just look amazing.
Yeah, I think Connor pointed out when we're doing rehearsals, he mentioned the horse box and he caught me off guard. I didn't know that Charles and those guys were doing that. And I've seen a few horse box upcycles. So as I was taking a little sip, it was like, oh, horse box. I was like, what? So he did catch me off guard with that. But it's like I say, you've got to take these situations that sort of life throws at you, no matter how chaotic and mad they seem, and just try and make the best out of them. And I think that's the sense that I definitely got from Charles and the team, is that this is the situation we find ourselves in. We can't really do anything about it. How are we going to try and react and move forward? And that was a great thing to hear, to be honest with you.
I think for like Charles, what he was saying, and I think it goes for quite a few other people as well, is that these changing times seem to suit them a little bit with regards to how he was saying he can now rota his staff easier because he roughly knows within a couple of percent or within a couple of tables how many people they get on a night. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, he might have a walk-in or something like that, but you can allow for that. And other times somebody might not turn up, guys. If you've booked somewhere and you can't make it, let them know you can't make it, okay? This is valuable for these people.
Can come with courtesy. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, like you said, it's predominantly table service based business as it was anyway. So it's sort of helped kind of reinforce that model.
Yeah, definitely.
And make it easy for the staff. And ultimately, these guys are out there. There is still a risk out there in the world. We absolutely know that. These guys are out there just trying to do a job. And quite a lot of times, not for an amazing, massive amount of money. They do it for the passion, for the love. And there's a massive community and network for these bartenders, hospitality workers out there. And in this next part, we're going to show you, I actually talked to him a little bit about the sort of the community side, the scene of the Nottingham, the bar scene, Nottingham sort of drink makers and whatnot. And it's quite interesting, actually, if you didn't know about that side of the bar trade. But I'll let him say it better than I do. But it's run the clip, I suppose.
So Charles, this isn't your first time with Mackmyra on stream, I guess, is it, or on camera, is it?
No, it's not.
You've been with us on Mackmyra and Friends before with the lovely Charlie Carrington, friend of the show, friend of the brand.
Of course.
So being in that world, I guess, what's the cocktail world? I guess what's the cocktail scene like in Nottingham, or been like since sort of COVID, etc.?
It's I think it's been a mixed bag. So on the high volumes side of venues, I think most venues have kept how they serve and operate, and the sense of the menus. Some of the venues have reduce the menu so they give the customers the exact service that they require in the time and fashion that they have, especially for some of the venues that serve food. So, but in sense of how it's developed, I think with a lot of the craft bars and venues that we have in shops, we've got Majestic Wines, we've got a really, really cool whiskey shop in town. There's a lot of different ingredients and things that we have access to in sense of craft and unique spirits, that the cocktail menu changes so differently in sense of all the venues, that we're quite lucky to have the kind of cocktail bars that we have, because we have a lot of talented bartenders that have come from here. We've got Tom Payne, who's really amazing bartender, world-class entrant. We also have Daniel Warren, who works at Six. He's world GP. He really holds Nottingham proud in sense of his quality of cocktails and stuff like that. Charlie Carrington, Rachel Shepherd, one of many bartenders who are very good at what they do, and they make it easy to understand as to why they're good good as they are. So the craft, the scene of the cocktails, it changes and adapts by the personalities of the bars and the bartenders. And I think if you have access to Nottingham or any major town, or you live there quite locally, I think once you start going to different bars, you'll get the personality come through, from the serve to the bartender to the products.
How integrated is the cocktail? I guess the mixologist, the maker scene around Nottingham, because you mentioned quite a few names there. Is it quite a community led?
Definitely. I'd definitely say it's community led. Like, we have one facet that makes us definitely community led. It's called the Nottingham Grafters Union, and it's a page that was set up by a few of I'd call the godfathers of Nottingham.
Yeah.
And I think there's at least 3,000 staff on there. Waiters, chefs, anyone in the hospitality industry, cafes, anyone who's... So the minute I've run out of change, within half an hour you've got a solution to that. So-and-so has an altercation in this bar. Do we literally track them to the incident, get the police involved, and that gets dealt with straight away. Anyone's in any harm's way. Then in sense of like the actual skill part of it, we used to have competitions, obviously not as much anymore, but we used to have at least once a month we'd have cocktail competitions with brands, and that pretty much got the whole group involved, where we'd all join, meet up at our respective venues, showcase our skills in front of our peers, and win some competitions and stuff like that, win some goodies, and that really did help gel everybody, because they would meet people that they'd only see on Facebook, and you'd learn so much from each other that way. So we're very, very close, very close.
Yeah. So I guess for anyone who wasn't aware of sort of the community side of things, it's make sure you tip your bartenders and take care of them, because they're probably talking to each other.
Positively a lot, but not so much all the time. But yeah, I think every town has their generation of Karens, and it's gonna happen everywhere. But yeah, tip your bartenders. Just tip. That's as simple as that.
That sounds absolutely. See that community thing that you're talking about there, that where everybody in the hospitality industry is interlinked through that group. That just sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Tip your bartenders. That's
the takeaway from that, guys.
Just
tip away.
Or the very least, treat them with respect and patience and dignity. Because
especially in
if
these
you
times,
act like a proverbial, they'll make sure you're not having a good time. So but yeah, like I say, it was a really interesting chat with him. Interesting for me, who's not necessarily from that side of the industry, specifically the bar sales side of things, to learn a bit more about how that kind of works and how they're adapting and adjusting and building the community. But yeah, it was a top bloke, really, really nice to meet him, really hospitable. We spent a good few hours there, myself and Connor, talking to him and filming with him yesterday, and his crew member Jack. And they treated us with a lot of patience, a lot of respect. We're sort of just kind of figuring out this kind of this on location thing ourselves as well. But he had a lot of patience for us. Was very open, willing to share with us as well. So I just if he's watching tonight, or if he watches on replay, thank you for having us, Charles, and it's much appreciated, mate. We'll flip back to him in a little bit and hear what he's got to say about the yak liquor. But yeah, before we get into that, you're going to give us a little bit of a geek corner, are you not?
Ooh, shall we? Geek corner of the yak liquor.
Treat us.
Geek corner of the yak liquor. So, just handily to hand. Our brand new release. We launched it last Wednesday, and it was shipped to people today. So if you're unaware, guys, this is our autumn-winter release for 2020. So yak liquor. It means happy hunting, and not in the let's go shoot a deer kind of way, by the way, guys. Okay, none of that malarkey, but more along the lines of foraging the forest. Mushrooms, berries, all that sort of good stuff, sustainable stuff. Not necessarily going out and shooting things. Okay. So let's not take the hunting.
Just to clarify that, you hear that word hunting, it's automatically it triggers,
Oh, straight away, Elmer Fudd after Bugs Bunny, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Happy foraging.
Exactly. So it celebrates autumn and the treasures to be found in the ancient Swedish woods. An engaging trail of blueberries, lingonberries is revealed as the whiskey. was predominantly matured in casks that previously held Swedish berry wine from the craft producer, Grafjeten. Excuse me if that's incorrectly pronounced. I'm still trying to get to grips with that one. Grafjeten. The essence of the whiskey in an elegant recipe is aged in various casks. So what we did is we took that lingonberry and blueberry wine and we saturated American oak casks between the sizes of 30 and 100 litres, Swedish oak casks between 30 and 100 litres, and ex-bourbon casks between 30 and 100 litres as well. So we filled those casks up with the lingonberry wine. And we let that sit in there for a good while. And then obviously we filled our new make into it. And also into the recipe, we've got new and first fill American Hope at 128 litres and first fill Oloroso between 128 and 200 litres as well. So that's quite a complex recipe to start off with. And a handful of those casks as well were actually from our smoky recipe. So from our Rook recipe, a small amount of them went in that, which gives it quite an inviting depth. So the result is an expressive whiskey with a smooth, creamy texture that branches out in notes of dried fruits, berries, spiciness, raisin, and vanilla. So it's a saga toad in flavour. So the proper really geek corner fact really is our packaging. I'm sure Connor will bang up a better picture than that to show you. So these images or these paintings, the packaging was inspired by a Swedish artist called John Bauer. He was a Swedish painter and illustrator about just over 100 years ago, and his work is concerned with landscape and mythology. But he also did a few portraits, but he's best known for his illustrations of early editions of Bland Tumata och Troll, which means Among Gnomes and Trolls. It's an anthology of Swedish folklore and fairy tales. So this is the picture you can see now, guys, on your screen. Is actually the picture that inspired the packaging, basically. As you can see there, so you got the light going up there, down into the lightened parts of the trees, and then into the forest floor with the greens at the bottom, and those muted autumn tones that we see. And for me, Carl, just pour myself a quick one here.
I'm with you. I'm there already.
Nice. And honestly, for me, you know me, guys. I'll tell you the official tasting notes, and then we'll talk about our individual aspect of it as well. So on the nose, it's spicy with warm, fruity grape tones and notes of herbs. Soft vanilla oak with aromas of anise, a ginger, raisins, pear, caramel, and vanilla. Oof. It's, honestly, see, for me, this does remind me of autumn straight off the bat.
Yeah.
So on the palate. Oh, that's superb. So you get those soft, fruity and spicy with berries and dried fruit, pear, raisins, ginger and vanilla. The texture is quite creamy and medium bodied. And on the finish there, we get the berries, the fruit, spiciness and oaky with warmth notes of raisins. So, so you know how we've got a couple, and a lot of whiskey producers have what they deem their Christmas in a glass. They're probably their heavily sherried or port cask finish influence. For me, this is Halloween. Do you know what I mean? So the peak of autumn, just before we get into winter, this is Halloween for me. Honestly, it's fantastic. This is definitely going to find its way into my hip flask for going to the rugby for sure.
Yeah, so literally, it was interesting because I was talking to we had a little try with Charles. We had a little try of it together, and that was his first time trying it as well. And that's one of the things I mentioned to him is that it's for some reason it's autumn, and I couldn't quite put my finger on why. It might be this sort of pumpkiny spice, but yeah. Let's have a listen to what Charles has got to say about it when he tried it for the first time.
What's a big guy get?
So we've got a little bit more of the yak liquor.
Yes.
Liquor. Have you tried this before today?
I have not tried this before today. I've read some of the tasting notes and stuff like that, and it sounds amazing. So I will be trying this live reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers. Skål.
first time trying this with ice, actually, as well. We think. What's your initial reaction?
My initial reaction is I'd probably, I don't know if that makes it degrade the brand at all, but I would call this like a really nice sipping whiskey.
Okay, yeah.
Like you said about the ice, I'd probably prefer just a cold glass itself, because the flavour profile, the aromas, the pear, the vanilla, the soft herbs, I think I can kind of smell that. Even though I know there's lingonberry as an influence in sense of the craft wine casks that they've used. Yeah, a sipping whiskey is kind of what I'd go for.
Yeah, so one of the things I've heard quite a lot of is autumnal whiskey.
Yeah.
People have said like there's quite a lot of.
Yeah.
It's not. Before we've had like sort of, it's a Christmas whiskey because it's got like a lot of kind of Christmas berries in that.
Yeah. Of course.
We've got that kind of sort of autumnal slight vibe, lingonberries, cloudberries, all that's coming through. It just gives you that kind of pumpkin spice as well. I think.
Yeah.
One of those I've heard.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
So yeah, something that's great for Halloween whiskey.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it's a good tasting profile that will lead to a broader market of people to try, especially people that kind of not so sure about the whiskey market. I think within the Mackmyra range, there's so much that you can pick from, and especially from the price point and what you have is limited availability and releases. I think this is really good, and I've seen a lot of fans already tagging saying when's this coming out. So I think you really have a following sense of what you're releasing. So that's quite good.
Sipping whiskey.
Nice.
He's not wrong, is he? Do you know what I mean? You can genuinely sip it. Like, it is getting towards those colder months, and you need a whiskey you can kind of sip on to keep you warm. And this has got that lovely little bit of spice in it. But again, like I mentioned, get off my wavelength, Mickey, because you pretty much said exactly what I said on the stream there.
I was just about to say to you, stop stealing my patter.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so that was it. Autumnal whiskey, but yeah. And like Charles mentioned, it is out as of today, and we are doing a tasting next Thursday the 10th, across our core range, and you do get a free little yak liquor with it as well, a 5 centilitre sample of that with the glass as well. So if you're curious about trying the yak liquor, get onto the website now, mackmyra.co.uk, and add that tasting pack into your basket with the code shipping for free. Save yourself the shipping cost as well. So honestly, 24 quid for 5 whiskies, it's genuinely, you can't go wrong. It is 100% worth a try. Really, really, really easy drinking. And again, interesting enough for someone who has drunk quite a few different whiskies before as well to actually explore something a little bit different. So yeah, thank you again, Charles, for having us as well. It was a real pleasure. I hope you enjoyed yourself. It's a privilege, I guess, me chatting to you all day, but it was a real pleasure filming with you. So yeah, thanks for that. But yeah, Mickey, what's your takeaway on the?
Mate, honestly, like I said, that's going to be finding its way into a few. Once the grounds open back up here, and I get back to watch my beloved Glasgow Warriors play. Get back to over across and see Scotland play as well. So once that opens back up, that's going to find its way into my hip flask, without question, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it is a lovely, beautiful, warming whiskey without being that too overpowering. You get some heavily sherried stuff, which can be a bit too tart for my liking. Yeah. But no, this for me is phenomenal, Carl, quite frankly. And like Shane was saying, it sounds great. Really need to try it. Absolutely, definitely need to try it. And David, would it work in a hot toddy? I don't know. Why not? Like, I don't see any reason why not. The spice could help. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've told you all the details you need to do to get it. Oh, and I should say as well, off the back of that video, we have had a few comments internally about having it with ice as well. It's entirely it is. Ice, honestly, it's so controversial in the whiskey world. Like, if you want to try whiskey with ice, try it with ice. If you want to try it with a drop of water, try it with a drop of water. If you want to drink it with Coke, drink it with Coke. Drink the whiskey however you want to drink it. And like Charles was saying, that he'd prefer it in a chilled glass as well. So it's all down to what your personal preference is.
Definitely.
There is no prejudice here.
Guys,
but for the sake of that video,
your rules. As long as you're drinking whiskey, I don't care how you have it.
Yeah. For the sake of that video, I will say it was Connor's fault that it had icing because it looked cool and sounded cool on camera. So just to dob him in. He's not on stream to defend himself.
Just because he comes from South Africa, he thinks everything's got to be over ice because it's so hot over there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I'll let you wrap it up, dude.
No worries about it. So, Carl, once again, thanks very much for being our intrepid explorer this week. Getting out there into the crazy world that it is at the moment. and thank you to Charles at Rhubarbar there. So, guys, in there on Nottingham, make sure you book before you go, though, okay? Tip your bar staff generally. Definitely it's not Connor's fault. That's a lie. That's a lie. So, guys, thanks very much for tuning in today. Don't forget, me and Carl will be back next Thursday for a tasting session. It'd be great if you brought the packs in and tasted along with us. So just to re-emphasise that, so that's next Thursday on the 10th of September at 7 o'clock. We're going to try the core range, which is our Mac, our Brooks, our Svetskjek, and our Svetsgruk. We're also going to chuck in the Yak Liquor, and also when you buy the pack, we'll give you the 4 core range, Yak Liquor sample, and a tasting glass as well for £23.90. And if you wish to have complimentary shipping, guys, enter the code at checkout, shipping for free, and we'll get you sorted out, not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so guys, so cheers, Carl. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure as always.
At home, thank you very much for joining in. And Skål.
Skål.